Hi everyone, welcome back to a new amazing video. So today we have like a special guest, Simran. So she'll be walking us through her journey and also sharing some of her insights about how like how her college life was there and how she's into the AI and ML stuff. So Simran, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, yeah. Thank you, Arsh, for the invite. This is me, Simran Anand. I'm currently working as a senior AI ML engineer at Hewlett Packard Enterprise, and previously I have worked at Bosch Global Software Technologies as a senior AI ML engineer, and I have done my bachelor's of technology in computer science engineering with a specialization in data analytics from Vellore Institute of Technology, Amravati campus. So yeah, glad to be here in the journey, and I'm having a deep interest towards AI, ML, data science, and every day explore towards the latest trends in technology as well, be it generative AI or time series forecasting and business problems.
That's amazing, Simran. So first, can you walk through your college journey? Like, how did you got into like specific branch, and what was your main motive towards computer science and engineering and stuff?
Yes, definitely. So I had a keen interest towards computer science engineering even since my college, my school days as well, where I had an additional subject of computer science, IP. So I did take up that, and since start, I was fascinated with how technology changes the domains every day. Be it any field you take in today, we have artificial intelligence, especially in picture. So I started reading about AI, and how I got into data science AI was through NLP. Specifically, I had a keen interest towards learning languages as well. So through linguistics, I started my career into natural language processing, and also started going through various research papers, networking on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn was something which I was very active on since my college days as well. So I started connecting with various professionals in the same field of AI ML and got inspired by them as well. So that is how something so I started learning from their content as well, and that inspired me to also learn and also explain things what I'm doing. So especially I, since my college days, started building projects. I used to go through various GitHub repositories related to AI ML, CSE as well, and then fork them, learn cloning, modify them, and then that's how I started getting into open source as well. And apart from AI ML, also CSE definitely is very important, especially for someone, I would say, that who is looking forward to engineering. It has become such an important field for any software engineer that it would give you advance in the no, in the concepts related to object-oriented programming, database management system, then even data structures and algorithms, which most of the beginners, they don't understand that its importance in the first, in their first job as well. I would really advise you all that even if you're getting into AI ML, have a strong understanding of data structures, algorithms, and that is DSA and OOPS as well, because that is something which is definitely helpful as a software engineer in general. Because even if we are an AI ML engineer, so I used to also practice problems on HackerRank, LeetCode, HackerEarth, and also found some really good batchmates along with me who used to do some pair programming every day, debugging some complex code, and that is how I also enhanced my interest in the same.
Okay. And also you mentioned about like open source contribution. So
Yes.
generally, I had seen like open source contribution, like most of college students used to do for the website domain or towards backend stuff, but not towards like AI ML stuff. So like, can you share some insights regarding that how one fresher should be
Correct.
proceeding into that AI ML domain or open source contribution?
Yes, definitely. That's a really good point. I would say that especially there are open source ML ops tools like MLflow and Weights and Biases. So they have their GitHub repositories, which we can also go through and also contribute there. Even we can become an ambassador for MLflow, Weights and Biases platforms. These are ML ops tools which are open source. Even GenAI domain has open source platforms like Diffie being one of my go-to recommendation. That is one such tool which is open source and also provides a platform for every be it a working professional, student, or a AI enthusiast also to build retrieval augmented generation apps. So if someone wants to easily build RAG applications, they can easily explore this platform Diffie. and even go check out the various GitHub repositories of these AI/ML technologies and contribute there. We can start with right from forking the repository, adding some documentation from our end, or also adding some new features to the tool to make it better. Give our own feedback and reviews. These are some ways in which freshers can also contribute.
Okay. Talking about your preparation towards AML, so how did during your college placement times, like you had done a preparation for this specific role?
Yes, definitely. So in my college days, when I was sitting for placements and preparing for roles, I was open to both software as well as AI/ML dedicated roles, because usually for freshers, they have more software related roles than AI/ML. So getting a niche job right in the first, niche AI/ML role right in the first job was something very difficult also as a fresher. So I also focused on data structures, algorithms, made Python as my first primary programming language for coding, and I had Java also as a secondary programming language.
Okay.
So when I used to prepare for AI/ML, I followed a roadmap. First, the important skills for anyone who wants to become an AI/ML engineer are Python, SQL. SQL is also asked in interviews, so we do also require that. Then there is machine learning algorithms, having a really good understanding of explaining machine learning algorithms and building some good projects. So if you have some novel projects in your resume, you also should be able to explain them, like what is the use case, and explain about the tech stacks. Be it any question related to the tech stack, you should be able to answer that. So machine learning algorithms, deep learning. I also published few research papers when I was in college. Also collaborated with professors in VIT, and did some patents. That was something which I believe that for AI/ML, especially when we do some research oriented projects, that will be a weightage add on in our resume. Apart from that, have a strong focus on the core skills also, like machine learning algorithms, deep learning, neural networks. Should be able to understand the transformer architecture. That is the most important one, especially in the NLP or the deep learning fields also. So that is some important concept which still is on top of my mind. So that is something I'll highlight. And apart from that, computer vision projects as well. So I touched upon all these domains, everything in and around AI/ML, and also learned about how do we deploy the models. Very important, because most of beginners, what I've seen is they know Jupyter Notebook and they have done all their experimentation in Google Colab, Jupyter Notebook, and that's the end. But I wouldn't say that's the end. So in projects, when you're actually adding a project in your resume, do also add a deployed, web link. So learn about how do we deploy the models or take them to production environment. So you need to also be familiar as a, even I would highly recommend as a AI/ML engineer with Docker, learn about how do we deploy using Streamlit or Fast API. Fast API is something which I'll highlight because it helps us to build scalable web applications. So these were some tech stacks, though even for me as a fresher, there was something very challenging, new, but I did get my hands dirty with these tech stacks as well while building some projects. And do not neglect DSA. So be active on LeetCode, solve problems on LeetCode, HackerRank, or HackerEarth every day for your practice, honing your coding skills, your ability to explain and communicate during the interview. You should be able to explain the problems quite well.
Okay. Can you share some ideas, if you have what all the projects one fresher should be building and mentioning into the specific resume?
Yes, definitely. So you could actually pick a use case which is interesting you. So especially if you're looking for roles in fintech domain, then you can actually build a project related to fraud detection, let's say, because that's a business problem. So having a real world application for that target industry and having it as a resume is definitely going to give you a lot of weightage in the resume. And I would say that apart from that, recommendation system is also one good project, because that will involve different technologies, right from data engineering. How do we ingest the data? How do we build the entire data flow, the pipeline, ETL pipeline? And right from that, you can also have generative AI into picture. Now that we have RAG, retrieval augmented generation, try building some handy chatbots. Even chatbots with RAG is one project which I'll highly recommend for freshers also who are looking for AI/ML roles, or for even working professionals rather, who would like to transition into AI/ML roles. They can actually look into RAG concepts, because generative AI has become such an important topic in AI/ML domain today that every industry you go, in the every company you apply, they will definitely look into whether you have experience with Gen AI. So do you have knowledge about the tech stacks? Have you worked on tech stacks and frameworks like LangChain, orchestration frameworks like LangChain, LangGraph, AutoGen, and also agentic AI applications? So yes, recommendation system. Then you have online fraud detection as a business problem. Look into some time series problems as well, like anomaly detection, because this is something which is also very much applicable in the industry. So these are some of my projects ideas that I would like to share for everyone who's interested in AIM.
Okay, and also can you tell something about in general interview experience for AML roles into any of our MNCs?
Yes, definitely. So if you're targeting product-based MNCs, definitely, I would say that they usually have the first round as a coding round. So because even when I had also sat for placements during my college, and then I also got into Bosch Global Software Technologies, we had a coding round, and they would test you on your Python knowledge, or even if you're familiar with Java and equipped with it, it does not matter. So even if you're good at Java, you should be able to solve the problem. So be really good at DSA. Even if you're trying to make a job switch, I would definitely say that DSA is something which even if I want to make a job switch, I would be definitely doing DSA all over. So the first is data structures algorithms, and then the first round is coding round, which I'll highlight. The second round, after the coding round you have completed, it can be a aptitude round. Usually it can be an aptitude round or directly a technical interview. So in the technical interview, you are supposed to explain your thought process very well and solve the problem statement which is provided to you. Usually it will be like a case study. So a case study or problem statement would be given to you, and you'll have to also explain how do you solve it. So usually it could even be a system design problem, let's say. So you have to talk a lot about what would be the trade-offs, what would be the constraints, what are the possible approaches you would take to solve that problem, and how do you design that end-to-end. So system design is also very important. If you also have like 2+ years of experience or 2 years of experience, I would highlight system design as well. Then after this round, you can have another technical interview round itself with a different panel of interviewers who will be testing on your machine learning algorithms, the projects you have done. They would be looking at the resume, the projects you have done, and asking questions in and around that domain. And also something in the project that they are currently working on in their industry, they would be looking your knowledge into that domain as well. Then the final round could be the HR round or the behavioral round, where they would be again, the project related questions can come up. They can also ask you some scenario based questions and your ability to think under pressure and constraints. So these are different, the process, the rounds in the interview in general for AIML.
Okay, all right. Simran, can you tell like few resources which have been needed for the preparation for these specific roles?
Yes, definitely. So I would definitely emphasize on SW180 as a very go-to resource for preparing for interviews related to AIML domains and a lot more. Then I also have my YouTube channel, CSE Insights by Simran Anand, that you could check out. Apart from that, there are a couple of handy resources related to GitHub also, and some GitHub resources related to generative AI and the roadmap right from scratch. So that is dropped in the description of the video.
Okay. That's great. All the resources would be attached into the video's description. You can go there and get it checked.
Yes.
Okay, Simran, I was just looking at your Simran, I was just looking at your LinkedIn profile and I saw that during your college time you had like highest CGPA. So can you share some insight that how you were able to achieve and has a top rank?
Yes, definitely. Thank you. So I definitely was consistent with making notes. I was also like referring to YouTube channels and some handy resources myself as well as a student. And also be it any topic, I used to firstly understand that what are the important concepts which are most probable or likely to also be asked in the exams. So I would also ask the professors about what are the most likely concepts for me to go through right when I want to actually prepare and give the exam, and also understand the topic. So that is something. And also AIML, data science, the electives which I have taken especially was something which I had a genuine interest for. So that made it really easy for me also to dive deep into those topics. And I made consistent notes and revise the topics, not just right before the exam, but also when the professor used to actually give the topic, understanding and explanation. I was quite regular with following it up.
Okay, and you're following like previous year question paper, or you're just like
Yes. So for few of the subjects, I did follow the previous year question papers as well. They were pretty helpful. And for some of them, I was like rightly going through the concepts and the most likely, questions which the professor itself was highlighting. And what are the most likely questions which would be asked in the, examinations.
Yeah, and are there been any of college subjects like which have been really helpful right now in your specific job roles?
Yes, definitely. So I would say object-oriented programming is something which is very, very important. Like me as a day-to-day software engineer coding in any language like Python or Java, writing quality code, which is, clean practices of code is very important. So building pipelines and also connecting the dots of the code base using object-oriented programming principles is something which I'll recommend for any student. Apart from that, yes, DBMS like SQL is also important, especially for interviews. I have like given few of the interviews related to data science, so SQL was consistently being asked in the first few initial rounds. Apart from that, yes, DSA definitely is important, but I would like definitely throw light on Lead Code and HackerRank more for the DSA point of view. Apart from that, yeah, so there were some topics of like deep learning, especially. I had flair for deep learning projects because the quality and the kind of projects which were covered during deep learning labs was something which I really would cherish the most because it taught me a lot and the kind of learning it gave me. So I still found them quite relevant even in the industry applications.
Okay. So, as a fresher, I have like one simple down that there have been like a different roles. One is like
Yes,
AI engineer, NLP engineer, data science, data scientist.
data
Uh,
engineer.
yeah. So, what like one fresher should be thinking that which role they or should be choosing it, or how they can make a career path into one of a domain, or they should be trying or exploring all of the domains. So, how would you suggest?
Yes, definitely. So I would say that you can actually pick a niche. So if you are someone who's interested in AI/ML, then you would be open to software engineer roles and AI/ML. That is something I would like. That goes hand in hand. Along with
Hmm.
that, even data scientist,
Hmm.
because if you are working as an AI/ML engineer, most of the skills are also correlated with data scientist, data analyst also.
Hmm.
So these are something which you can, be open to. But if you are someone who's interested in web or mobile applications, then you can group that with software engineer roles or full stack developer roles because the skills are definitely correlated there and go hand in hand. So if you are someone who's interested in software engineer and more into building the pipeline, storing and processing the data rather than like, generating the insights from it and not too much into machine learning or AI/ML, then you can target roles like data engineer or business analyst, especially if you have a business acumen and a flair for solving some business problems and use cases. Yeah.
Okay, got it. And what about like Gen AI developers?
Yes, Gen AI, yes, they will go hand in hand with AI/ML because nowadays any AI/ML engineer is you usually see the job description, Gen AI is expected in the tech stack. So I would say that if you are someone who's interested in the Gen AI field, you can target roles like Gen AI research roles. If you are into the research aspect, if you want to become a researcher, you can target roles like Gen AI researcher or Gen AI developer, or else even full stack AI/ML roles. Even I had seen job descriptions which mention something like forward deployed AI engineer. So even
Okay.
those kinds of roles can easily go hand in hand with Gen AI.
Okay, got it. Can you tell that if one of a candidate was working into the normal software engineer role and wanted to have a transition into the AI/ML space, then what would be the ideal roadmap or preparation path?
Definitely. So I would say that if you are someone who's working in the software role and have hands-on with the software technologies, the DevOps side of it, or be it even full stack, and if you want to transition into AI/ML, then you have to be equipped very well with Python, machine learning, deep learning, and very well acquired with LLMs nowadays. If you are targeting Gen AI, so these are some topics which I'll highlight. But if you are already a software engineer, it's very easy for you to understand the code base. It's just that the language is changed to Python or Go language because these are the most common languages which are used as an AI/ML engineer. But you should also be familiar with machine learning, the tech stacks like TensorFlow, Keras, or PyTorch because these are the common ones used for these are deep learning libraries which are used. You can go through them and also understand the code base. Just by understanding the code may not like you though you understand the code, you may not be knowing the fundamentals behind it or how an algorithm works. So highly recommended to learn machine learning algorithms So say you understand how the scikit-learn library is used for building a SPM, but you don't really know how SPM works in concept. So that is also again an issue. So I would also highlight on learning the machine learning algorithms and deep learning algorithms, knowing how they work. And then also it becomes very easy, because if you're a software engineer, what an AI/ML engineer does is also, like, they also need to be aware of the software best practices, system design also being one of them. That is how someone can easily make transition into the AI/ML field, by learning the right topics.
Okay. As like we discussed, there have been a lot of roles like AI engineer, then ML engineer, then data science, data scientist, prompt engineer. So, what would you suggest like to any of a fresher, those who are just like stepping their career into this software engineering space? So, which one role you would be suggesting and will be there for the long run, for the future time?
Yes. So I see most of the freshers like very fascinated with Gen AI because of the hype. But I would definitely say that they have to learn the fundamentals first and not directly jump into Gen AI or LLM roles. Definitely you can have some quality projects and explore the domain, but I would essentially like give a lot of weightage to the fundamentals first. So they need to be aware of. So I would say for them, they can start as a data analyst or a data scientist, and then you can make a move into AI/ML engineer later on. So once you have like got experience in say data analyst, then you can switch to data scientist, then go to ML AI engineer, and finally then a Gen AI engineer or an LLM engineer, right? So this is usually the career path I would suggest to any of the beginners in AI/ML, and also learn about the DSA, system thinking, the trade-offs of designing an end-to-end system, because nowadays what companies would actually look at is your strategic thinking, the creativity skills, and also how well you are with designing the problem and approach a problem given a case study. So try going through the case studies of Netflix, their recommendation system, then Spotify, then you can go into the different like LinkedIn's algorithm. So learn about the system design behind them. It will teach you a lot of fundamental principles and clear your doubts. That should be a good starting point. And then you can make a transition, because definitely you can do projects related to generative AI and AI/ML, like exploring the tech stacks and have it in your resume. But as a career start, you can start with data scientist or as an data analyst also. And then you can make a move to Gen AI.
Okay, got it. And is there any like CTC difference in general, like software engineer versus what do you call AI/ML roles? Like, is there any CTC difference, or it's just the same, or it just depends on company to company?
Right. So I would say it depends on the company to company, definitely on the kind of project that you are also onboarded to and the company. So both are definitely helpful in their own ways, and are also correlated in the tech space. So I would say that it depends on your personal interest. Don't just go with what is in the hype, but definitely what truly aligns with your long-term goals.
Yeah, because right now it's AI/ML space is like much more trendy. So
Right.
job roles have been also, and companies are also are willing to pay like whatever you are
Yes.
demanding. And
Correct. Yes. So, but definitely AI/ML does pay a lot, and even data science, it's a quite lucrative career for anyone who's in the tech space. So, highly recommended for them.
okay, just like one of our important advice you would
Yes.
likely to give like to our audience, those who are watching this video.
Yeah, definitely. So my personal advice to the learners, I would say, is that so keep upskilling yourself. Every day is a new learning, and try exploring the various domains. Have a clear target, and if you are confused or lost, do not worry, because even we, as when we started, we were at that point when we had like lot of resources everywhere scattered, and we also had to understand that what is the right roadmap to follow in order to become successful in our career. So very important that skills definitely play a very important role. It's not just the marks alone, but the skills, the projects that you're doing. So my advice is that when you're learning a concept, don't just do the course and get the certificate, but also try to build a project out of it. Because if you're building something, you're putting the skills into practice directly. And so if you are also not having any experience, companies would look at the kind of projects you have done, and that will give you a lot of weightage. That skills will be adding as a lot of weightage in your resume and give you an edge over the others. That's my advice.
Okay. Um, Okay, then we'll just wrap up this video.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Art, for
Yeah.
the invite. Yeah, glad to actually address your questions here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Simran, coming for this video. Those who have like doubts, please make sure that you comment, and we'll happy to help you there. Thank you so much, Simran, for
Yes.
coming here.
Thank you, Harsh. Yeah. Bye. Thank you.